Good morning, guys. Hey YouTube, just setting off for a stroll up Helvellyn. It's just gone 7 AM. I am in the Lake District. I stayed in my van last night by Ullswater, and then I've got up this morning. I've just had a banana. I've come to the car park and I've set off now, headed up Helvellyn via Striding Edge. I've been up Helvellyn maybe 3 times before. One of the most popular mountains in the Lake District. I've been on Striding Edge once, but it was years ago. I don't really remember it, and I've never come up from this side. I sort of came off the other side, so just set off now. There's one slight twist to this. Not got my shoes on, at least for the uphill anyway, so we'll see how this goes. Thanks for joining me. So this short road stretch and then coming off in a minute. One of them's Helvellyn, somewhere over there. Finally come off the road. Hello, good morning. I'm now at a split, this way or this way. Let's get the map to find out. Upwards. The floor isn't the best right now. It's quite stony, so I'm going to try and stay on this grassy ridge. So why am I barefoot? Well, I figured God makes the best shoes, better than any that Nike could do. If you use them right, they've got a much longer shelf life. But it's not just that really. That's sort of the thought process to trying it. But when you do try it, if you have tried it, and obviously depending on the terrain and where your level's at, it's a much more connective experience with the land, with the route. It's much more focused. It does make it slightly more intense. So I haven't just done this on a whim. I've been doing it a lot sort of around Derbyshire, Peak District, in the Brecon Beacons, where I do this. I'll choose a route and I'll try and walk about half of it barefoot and half of it in shoes. And if it's a like up and down route, I'll try and do the uphill barefoot because it's a lot less impact, but you're still putting the weight through the feet. Every step's a different step, every angle's a different angle. You know, the stimulus under the foot, it's night and day compared to people that wear these barefoot shoes, which are they're minimal shoes really, but it's such a different experience. I think the most important part of being minimal or barefoot is that the skin actually connects with the ground, the rocks, the earth, the grass. There's just so much going on that, like, I don't want to try and, I don't need to get too sciencey about it. It just is an experience. And when I do it, it really feels like it wakes up my feet in a loving way. If you don't do it, you don't overdo it, you don't abuse it. There's just something really therapeutic about it that's kind of honest and nurturing if it's done right. So that's why I always have a pair of shoes with me. And if it gets to a point where I think I'm just, this is too much, it's too uncomfortable, I'm just trying to beat myself up for something, well, I don't. I put my shoes on, and then at that point, all the little intricate, stability muscles around the foot, around the ankles, around the calves, around the knees even, are warm and engaged. There's good blood flow. When we wear a shoe, it's just like dead flat, and there's no if you're coming down at this angle, it shoots you to flat. If you're coming down this angle, it shoots you to flat. And that's kind of a lot of whip on the ankle, whereas the foot is a 3D shape that's meant to like roll into position. And when there's the stimulus on the, you know, the nerve endings on the bottom of the feet, you have to be gentle, otherwise you're gonna have a shock every step. So it just encourages you to use all those little intricate muscles that have become dormant or atrophied from wearing shoes that we would have naturally strengthened if we grew up without shoes, or more with less shoes. And so this is just a way that's not too intense, as I say, of getting that back. And I do just feel after these days that my feet feel a lot happier. There's such a nice blood flow and warmth in the bottom of my body, and yeah, feels good. So today was a slightly greater challenge than normal, but we'll see how it is. But striding edge, yeah, I'm up for it, but I won't push it if it doesn't feel right. Thank you to whoever built this. How you getting on?
Well,
right?
Slow and steady wins the race.
It does, yeah.
That's our.
Oh, good.
Well, all the best to you.
Yeah, you too.
We're old men.
Oh, so you going up striding edge?
Yeah.
Nice.
We thought
And then
we'd
round and
do it
down.
early before.
Ooh. Hey. So somewhere up there's Helvellyn. Striding edge is this ridge, and you can come down that bit. There's a term people use for shoes. Barefooters use for shoes. I've used it before. They call them foot coffins. And they're probably, I think it's quite apt. There's some truth to it, that if you put a feed in them my whole life, it does kind of kill the potential I think they were designed to have. And so I feel like an activity like this is a gentle way, depending on where your level's at, of course. I've eased up to kind of more mountainous, but walking barefoot is kind of a gentle way to wake them from the dead. And it's not just like, wake the F up, you know, wake the F up. Wake the fuck up. It's more of a letting them cook on a low heat, simmering the feet back, rather than the mistake I made, and I don't know, maybe other people make it as well, where I was like, oh my gosh, we wear shoes. God didn't make shoes. They're ruining my biomechanics. So there's the reason I've got injuries. Quick, buy barefoot shoes and throw away all my cushion shoes and never wear cushion shoes again. And then go so far the other way, oversteer. You know, you go driving off the road, oversteer back the other way, oh, crash on the other side. Cause myself problems that way. And so finding the middle ground, the low heat, the gentle simmer, waking the feet up from the dead, I think I've learned it's a better approach, at least for me anyway. It's punch bowl, one giant rain catcher. Okay, now the terrain's changing. Starting to come up to the ridgeline now, and it was drizzled the last couple of days, I think. So it's kind of, everything's got that slight grit to it, which is, it's like sandpaper. But I still feel all right for now, but we'll just see how this goes. Like, this stuff is good. It's the floor stuff that's not so good. Like this, I'm trying to avoid. Right, you can see all the little scratches in here, these scratches form when people climb on here when there's snow and they've got crampons, the spiky shoe things. Oh yes. Woohoo! We're in the clag now, as they say here. Whoa. Right, time to focus. Oh. This is janky. Look at all these sharp bits pointing at me. Oh. Oof. Being barefoot trains balance because you have to commit to weight on every step, and every step has to be controlled, whereas in shoes you can kind of tippy tap your way around and just, you know, you're going to be able to put your foot anywhere and not stab your foot. Every step is controlled and in balance, so it's really good training if you recognize the value of physical balance. How do we get down? Ooh. Proper little scramble now. There, or there. I think we're gonna go middle way. Well, just in case you're not aware, I hold the camera in my mouth when I'm doing this. That's why my breathing sounds funny. It's because it's right next to the camera and it's slightly open. So into my mouth you go. Go around, go up, going up. Yeah. Right, I think that's it for the ridge. Is this the last climb now? Or
Yeah, it's just
bit of a way, but last bit, yeah. Cool, thanks. Hiya.
Oh.
Alright. Last bit now. Go on. That was the most painful step of the day. You guys saw it in my face. I'll put the camera down and focus and breathe. Oh, feels like heaven. We hit some grass. Oh, grass and mud. Feels so good. Beneath this spot were found in 1805 the remains of Charles Guff, killed by a fall from the rocks. His dog was still guarding his skeleton. Wow. Tell you what, it's not actually been too bad. Feels alright now. Like, it's not really, there's been a couple moments when it's a little bit intense, but it's never felt like, oh, I should probably put my shoes on now. I've not felt that once. And I think I can finally see the summit this time in the clag. Wait. Hey. Cool beans. What kind of trig toucher are you? Do this? Tongs touch the trig, or this? Where you got to stand on the trig. We did it. Are you one of these? Oh yeah, let's go on. Do you not touch the trig? Fair play. don't. Well, now I've got a decision to make. Do I want to go back the way I came, or do a loop? I always obviously tempted to do a loop, but when a beautiful ridgeline like that, you get to experience it two ways, coming and going. But I still can't resist that innate urge to do a circuit rather than an out and back. So I'm going to go this way and go down the easy way back. But I actually don't even want to put my shoes on yet while it's grass. It's still quite nice. And I do absolutely love it in the clouds. I like it when you got a clear, no views today, right? But it doesn't even, I didn't even register like that that's a problem, although it is no doubt absolutely stunning if it's clear. But I also like the seclusion of being in the mist like this. Something, I don't know what the word is, deeply stirring in me when I'm in an environment like this, on a hill, completely covered in fog. Right, so I'm guessing this is the descent now. So I'm gonna put my shoes on, pull up a pew, put on my shoes. An hour and 47 minutes so far. Ah, that's flown by. I would have guessed an hour and 20, I don't know. I haven't felt present with time. I've just been in the moment. Really think that is something with the shoes. Ooh, hello slug, sorry. Now these are the antithesis, if that is the right word, of Barefoot. They have got thick ass soles, but at least they don't have a massive stack height drop. Stack height, is it stack height or is stack height the overall? Heel to toe drop. They don't have a big heel to toe drop, which is, I think that's the bigger issue with paying homage to God's design with footwear, is when you raise the heel up, you alter the way God's designed the Achilles and the calf, the whole ankle, the foot, the knee, everything up chain is going to be affected by that. So one of the most important things with footwear for me is not how big the cushion is or how thick it is, it's the difference between the differential between the heel and the toe. And with the Hoka's thick cushion, so it's like a big suspension on a mountain bike, but they don't have a massive, it's like 4 or 5 millimeters. Some of the Solomons, which I do like Solomons as a brand, but they're like 8mm drop. And that's, I also love Zero, because Ultra and Zero are 0 drop, so the heel and the toe are no different. But I just like the support that these give me on descending. Swig of water. Try shrug. Good to descend. It's like heaven in these shoes. It's like a playground just opened up to me. I'll tell you what, my feet feel like they've had the best warm-up in the world. And Mr. Sun is trying to join us. Hello. Right, I have to be careful not to get too cocky. That's the other danger. In terms of sure-footedness, there's not much like training the extremes, you know, to make you feel strong in the centre. Oh. Oh. Ah. 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 It feels good to be out on my feet in the mountains, sweating, connecting. Oh. 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 You guys. Oh. Oh. I have missed this, and it has not been for a lack of wanting to do it. Believe me, YouTube friends that have followed me on this journey, or that I knew, this is what I believe I love to do as a hobby, as a passion, whether it's addictive or genuine, or you know, a bit of everything, a bit of both, a percentage of both, which it probably is. This is what I've desired, and I haven't been able to do it because my body has not been up for it. And through a real battle of my own soul and mind and body, some shifts happened from both perspectives. Emotionally releasing, definitely released some emotions, but you know, just cusping, but around this stuff, around some hopelessness, around my body, as well as some of the right practices, the more humble practices to do with training a healthy body, both restorative and then progressive, once, you know, from a position. Things like this, which are more natural, more playful, less structured and robotic and numerical, you know. I've made some progress, and we're out here today, and even the desire to want to film this to share with you guys, part of me questions it, but I hope that in my sharing that there's some value for you in however you take this kind of content. But here we are, spring 22. My name's Shieff. And I just did Helvellyn barefoot. I think I'm going to enjoy this descent to myself back down into Patterdale. Thanks for watching, guys. See you in the next video. Oh, I just want to give a shout out to God and Jesus for their guidance, for your guidance. Thank you, guys. I hope I can express love and appreciation in a sincere and genuine way someday. And I hope I mean that. I hope I'm being sincere about wanting to be sincere. I think so. I think that much is true. Yep. Definitely not getting in.